Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Rangers Review live from the Hampden Park press room. And we've got the small matter of an Old Firm League Cup semi-final this afternoon. I'm delighted to be joined by Stevie. Stevie, before we get into the team news, which has just broken a couple of minutes ago, how are the nerves going into this one so far?
Mate, I genuinely thought you were going to say we've got the small man next to me, Stevie Clifford. So,
You're much more than that, Stevie. Much more
well,
than that to me.
how are the nerves? Yeah, they're holding up. I'm not going to say they're surviving, but yeah, there's been a lot going on. So this is a big one, isn't it? It's one of those ones that my article was out this morning for the Rangers Review, where I tried to honestly write how I felt about this one, and it's just one of those ones, Blair, where honestly you go into it thinking that if they can win this, it starts to change so much narrative about this season and about how it's been. So that's been that's what you hope for. You know, we have to go in, we have to start changing narratives, we have to start changing opinions, and by the way, we have to start changing our season. And if they go and win today, it's possible. They possibly can start to change their and start to affect their season. But we've been here before when there's been big games. Can Rangers do it? And they never do it. They have to start.
Yeah, it really feels like a big moment at the end
It's
of
almost
a
a
big week.
sliding doors,
Yeah,
isn't it?
very much so. So we're here with the team news. I'll bring this up just now and we will get right into it. This is a team that Danny Rule has selected this afternoon to take on Celtic. Jack Butland in goals, obviously no surprise there. He sticks with the back three that was so successful in the week against Hibs. Nasser Giga, John Souttar and Derek Cornelius at the back there. Four across the middle that we think James Tavernier in at right wing back in from the bench on Wednesday. Mohamed Diamande is in for Connor Barron, who's obviously suspended. Nico Raskin and Jaden Megoma make up the rest of that midfield. Tello Asgard is in one of the forward areas. Maybe a little bit of a surprise that Jedi Osama isn't there, but we'll get into that. And of course, up front, Danilo and Yusuf Chermiti. Stevie, we'll just kick off. He stays with the back three. I don't think that's any surprise. I think that Rangers look a lot more comfortable in that back three.
Yeah, totally, Blair. I would agree with you. I think we do look more comfortable with three at the back. I think that you actually seen two very good performances by Cornelius and Giga, and I thought we were most comfortable um, on the ball, that in possession, that we have looked in a long time. There was periods that game at Easter Road, which isn't an easy place to go to, where we completely dominated. The biggest issue I've got is they dominated without creating enough. Are we attacking wise, threatening enough? We'll find out. I don't think that graphics is right. I think that Danilo will be up next to Chermiti and Asgard will float, and I think Asgard will man mark Callum McGregor, and I think he'll just play on him. I think Diamande will be on the left. We're asking, well, Diamande no on the right, he normally is, but I think Diamande will go and pick up Hatate, and that's key for me to stop Celtic, is stopping the two of them, assuming that McGregor and Hatate are playing. That's where I think Rangers can win and lose this game, is if you stop them, you're stopping their whole game, the way they dictate play and how they build up. So back three wise, and with you, I think we have stumbled upon something that suits us. Maybe stumbles the wrong phrase, because Danny Rowe immediately changed them, which you have to
Yeah,
credit him with.
he's seen that
He's
in
seen the issues, didn't he?
yeah, from the very beginning. He came in and went, and for me, it's a trust issue. I think that he doesn't trust any of those three defenders to work as a pair, and I think that if he puts them with more bodies round about them, I think they instantly become more at ease having more bodies next to them.
Fair, absolutely fair. Yeah, you could say that individually limited, but collectively they've looked a lot more solid. And I don't think, like you, that they suit for in the slightest, especially when Megoma is clearly a wing back. Clearly,
Yeah,
I think he's been a lot more comfortable at left wing back. And I panned the boy. I said that as a left back and the way he's playing in the four, he was absolutely awful. So he's actually done better in the last couple of games. It's a big one for him again today. And Tav is Tav. We know his legs aren't there, but he's always a threat.
Yeah.
And he drives forward, and he can always produce. And it wouldn't it be nice if James Tavernier had a moment where he wasn't going into a press conference and he was disappointed and he was going in, and we're asking James Tavernier, what a goal today, what an assist today, or you helped marshal Rangers to a famous victory. That's what I want. So I can understand why James Tavernier is there. I thought Max Aarons was fine.
Yeah.
But does he have the experience? I think James Tavernier has the experience. Bad experience possibly, but that's why he's there.
Experienced nonetheless. Yeah. We'll just take you through the bench where we're here. Liam Kelly, Max Aarons, Emmanuel Fernandez, Joe Rothwell, Oliver Antman, Mikey Moore, Jedi Gassam, Finlay Curtis and Bojan Majowski all on the bench. Just to come back to that issue of James Tavernier, I think he suits this system, as me and Josh were talking about during the week, in a sort of tactical breakdown of how it works. He will be able to get forward without the added responsibility of leaving a big hole at the back if he does push up the park. But equally, if Rangers need to drop into a back four, and Danny Rule has been very clear about this, he wants to have this sort of hybrid system where he can have different formations in game. James Tavernier drops back in there. You've got a comfortable back four and Derek Cornelius at left back as well when Rangers need it. So it almost operates as a twofold system, whereas James Tavernier can get forward without having that worry that he's leaving a big space in the right back area. That when he needs to drop in, I think you then again have a solid back four as well.
Yeah, but I think it's a game where James Tavernier needs to be spotless.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, they all do.
Mm.
I think I noticed in one of the comments, they say that Celtic went a lot more direct. If Celtic go a lot more direct, you would expect Cornelius, Suter and Giga to be able to deal with that, being that, they're all 6 foot plus and good, solid enough. So I would expect them, if they try and go front to back quickly, to be able to deal with that and then recycle it. Whereas I would want Raskin and Diamande picking up the scraps and trying to do that. So I can understand that point of view. Where is Lyle Cameron? That is a good question. Not injured, I believe, just not in the squad.
I don't know that there is any injury there. No, as far as we're aware, there is an injury.
Chris, Lyle Cameron, is he injured?
We are finding out on the spot for the viewers here on about Lyle Cameron, but as far as we know, he's not injured. He's not included this afternoon.
I asked the man that would know, Mr. Chris Jack, because if anybody would know, it would be Chris. But we don't know why he's involved or not involved, rather. But I do think genuinely that shape. I think Danilo will lead the line. I think Chermiti will drop in and try and win the flick-ons. He'll try and bully. He'll try and pull the Celtic defence out, leaving Danilo to go in behind. That's how I would expect it. I'm going to say something controversial.
It's not like you.
I thought Chermiti was good during the week.
I thought he got a lot of stick, and I don't think a lot of it was warranted. I'll be honest.
Yeah. The issue is he wasn't threatening,
and
we weren't threatening enough. And I think from a Rangers point of view,
I don't think that's his game, Stevie. I don't think he is this centre forward that is going to bomb on and is going to be driving towards goal. And I know for £8 million, a lot of Rangers fans will be thinking that's what we should have. But I think he's a link-up man. I think he's a man who gets the ball in and instantly, right now, at the stage of his Rangers career, he really suits Danilo because he gets the ball and he's looking to give the ball to Danilo.
Yeah, and Danilo is, as I've always said, a penalty box 9 striker finisher. I think he proved it during the week because quite rightly take a lot of stick for saying Danilo is our best finisher when there's not really been evidence enough. It's been sporadic. But when you see his finishing last Sunday, his finishing during the week. So I think if we can get Danilo chances, he will take them. And I think that Chermiti, what I wanted to see from Chermiti, there was a moment during the week, it was maybe just about 50 odd minutes possibly, that he got it onto his right foot. And instead of driving it for goal, he tried to cut in, he tried to take him on. I'd like to see my forwards being a wee bit more incisive. For example, would Danilo just have had a shot? I think he probably would.
Yeah.
That's what I'm maybe looking for, a wee bit more of Chermiti, because you and I know that, see, if chances are scarce today, see when one does come, we need to make sure we take it.
Yeah, I think you've seen that with Danilo at the game on Wednesday. Yes. He gets an opportunity like that. It's a snapshot, and it's the first time really from Danilo. I described it in the week as a £6 million striker finish, and that is what we've not seen enough of from Danilo. I think Tello Asgard for me is the real interesting one in this lineup, because I was certain that Jerry Gassama was going to play. I thought that was an absolute nailed on that he was going to be in this starting 11. But like you said, I take that point. I think Asgard might be in there to marshal Callum McGregor. He'd done that pretty successfully last time to break up the play at Ibrox, as you said. I also think his height is going to be a massive thing in this, because I think he can be up there alongside Chermiti to win those balls, to nod down for Danilo. I think his physical presence is going to be key in there.
It's a good point. He has to go and exert himself in the game, though. I would argue that Asgard, aside of 45 minutes against Dundee United in the home game, hasn't been successful enough up top.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with during the week wasn't the fact that, Hibs are always going to create chances. So Hibs had a couple of shots which didn't really trouble Butland. They were at him. They had a real bad miss, I think, straight after second half, where the boy fizzed it across, it kind of hit him and went wide. And then they had the header, which was offside. See a side of that, going to Easter Road and limiting Hibs to that much. I'm quite happy with that performance, but Rangers equally did not create enough at the other side.
Yeah.
I think we had Danilo's goal, we had Mikey Moore's shot, had a lot of possession, but we didn't carve anybody open. And the problem becomes that if we're like that, and Celtic are like that, because it's not like, no disrespect to them, I don't watch enough of them, but I feel like they're not as threatening and haven't created as much as they previously have. So I feel like it could be a game where it's two similars against each other. So we have to find a way to break them down and take our chances. So that's a big thing.
I'll just bring you the Celtic team. They're starting 11. Schmeichel in goals. Ralston, Trusty, Scales, Sirachi, McGregor, Engels, Nigrin, Tuneki, Maida, and Kenny. So you would have to imagine it's going to be a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 perhaps. Maybe a 4-2-3-1 with McGregor and Engels sitting a little bit more, Nigrin pushing up alongside Tuneki and Maida just behind Kenny. So Tuneki and Maida are where the threat comes from in that Celtic team. They're going to be hugging the touchline. Martin O'Neill, he's going to want them to get chalk on their boots and get outside on the flanks, because that's how they played against Falkirk. That's Martin O'Neill's kind of modus operandi. He wants to go forward. He wants to be direct. It's attritional football at times, but it can be effective football. So the fullbacks and the cover that Rangers are going to have on either flank are going to be massive in terms of negating any sort of attack that Celtic have to do.
Yeah, with Hitati not in there as well, it just means Diamandi goes to pick up Engels, I think.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Celtic are threatening up top. There's pace there. We're not sure exactly how form they're in and how rhythm they're in, so that will need to see. And I'm going to say something here. That defence is war. Ralston, Trusty, Scales, and Sirachi, we can get there. Yeah. See if Rangers go and press and print themselves and go and try and press them. That defence is not good.
No, you look at the physicality that Danny Rule has went with up front. I think he might have had a look at that Celtic back two and Trusty and Scales and thought, if we put a little bit of pressure on them, there could be success to be had there.
Yeah, I think so. We say this all the time, right? Generally, we say it all the time. I'm not sure that Schmeichel is the same goalie he was a couple of years ago, and I'm not sure in the defence. And we say this all the time, and we don't get near them. And that's the biggest thing. That's why Celtic are so successful, because on paper you look at that and think Rangers can hurt that defence.
Yeah.
But the truth is that Celtic always manage to marshal these games. They always manage to win.
They have a lot of players who are winning as muscle memory for them. Callum McGregor can turn up at 80% and win these games.
Yeah, and that's where we need to turn those small wins or those small percentage gains into what wins a game for Rangers. And you look at that defence genuinely and you think to yourself, Rangers can triple that. So we have to go and do it. We have to go and do it. So it's up to Asgard today. Asgard's a £4 million player. He's very capable, scores goals for Norway and everything else, a Norwegian international. He needs to turn up. He needs to go and make sure not only is he stopping McGregor, but he's imprinting himself when we're going forward. Chermiti, a lot of money, needs to go and make sure that he does it. The same with Danny, £6 million. These are all big games.
Yep.
So we need to create the chances for the forward line to be able to go and say, yeah, that defence isn't good. If we just play it to them and make it comfortable for them, then they will, as you said, muscle memory, be all right. If we go and physically impose ourselves and try and get on them and push them and press them, I think we can cause them problems.
Absolutely. But I'll just leave you with the team one more time. Jack Butland in goals, a back three of Nasser Giga, John Suter, Derek Cornelius, Jada Megoma and James Tavernier at the wing backs, Nico Raskin, Mohamed Diamandi in the middle of the park, and then the three in the forward areas of Tello Asgard, Danilo and Yusuf Chermiti. And on the bench for Rangers this afternoon, Liam Kelly, Max Aarons, Emmanuel Fernandez, Joe Rothwell, Oliver Antman, Mikey Moore, Jedi Gassama, Finlay Curtis and Bojan Majowski. Stevie, I'll spare you the pressure of scoreline prediction and just let you enjoy the game, because I often jinx the team whenever I make a scoreline prediction. But
I think it will be a close game.
I think
a lot of people are saying extra time. I think if Rangers win this, it'll be 1-0.
Yep.
I'm not saying we're definitely going to win it. I think if we do win this game, it'll be a close victory, and I think we'll need to defend, and I think we'll need to battle and probably ride our luck here and there, because you normally have to do that. Even at Easter Road, with those couple of chances, we rode our luck a wee bit, but I think they're capable. Jack Butland was excellent during the week. If he can have another performance, hopefully he doesn't need to, but if he does, then I think Rangers can sneak it.
Absolutely.
If we're going to win, I don't see us winning 3-0. I would bloody love it if we did, but I don't see it. And I think it'll be really close. So fingers crossed, good luck to the team, good luck to Danny Rule. See if they do win this. I think momentum shifts. I think everything changes. I think suddenly you've got a season where you could be quite excited. A cup final. Yes, we're in a bit of a hole in the league, but suddenly the excitement, you can start chopping away. You can start looking forward to games. You can start going to try and win games with a wee bit of confidence in this team. So I think we're right there. We're not turned a corner, but we're maybe coming up to turn that corner.
Yeah.
And today's a day where it could make all the difference.
Well, certainly a huge afternoon ahead, an exciting afternoon ahead as well. Just
I don't enjoy these games.
Try and enjoy it as much as you can.
Blair, so.
But we will leave it there for now. Of course, stay tuned to the Rangers Review all afternoon, where myself, Stevie, Chris and Josh will be here at Hampden to give you all the coverage of today's semi-final as Rangers take on Celtic for a place in the League Cup final.